Salam and hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you are all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 surprising reasons why we as women can't stop eating. And now, understand me when I say this. We need food to fuel us. We need to eat to remain healthy, to maintain a good amount of weight, to maintain an appropriate amount of muscle mass for our bones and for our heart health. But there are situations that we find ourselves in where we are overeating and we're not really hungry. We really don't know what's going on, but we just have to keep eating. We're not even binge eating, but maybe overeating, or we keep indulging. So I want to talk about these 5 reasons because just recently one of these reasons hit me and I was just like, why am I just feeling hungry and I don't even know what's going on with me, but I just kept eating. So let me just dive into that. Number 1, the first reason why you might be feeling hungry even though you're not hungry is you've been chewing gum. Now hear me out. You might be thinking chewing gum should not really cause any hunger, but understand this. Chewing gum stimulates the cephalic phase response, the body's get ready to eat signal, including insulin release and ghrelin secretion, that hunger hormone. So this tricks our brain into thinking food is coming, so our appetite might increase. This matters because for me, I was trying to actually suppress putting something in my mouth. So I kept popping gum after gum after gum, and it didn't help me control my cravings. By the end of the day, I would say around 7 or 8 o'clock, I try to cut my eating habits, I try to cut off eating after 7:38. But let me tell you, 8 o'clock hit, I had to eat a sandwich. I had to eat soup. I ate a sandwich. I ate soup. I ate something. I think I ate 3 things in a span of an hour. God forgive me. I don't know what was going on, but when I look back on that particular day, I chewed maybe 10 pieces of gum. I kid you not. I don't know what happened. I think I saw in the store that this flavor came out. I think I ate a whole sleeve of chewable mints. Be careful, ladies. Chewing gum and chewing mints can increase appetite. It can falsely trick your brain into thinking you're hungry when you're not. And I was trying to avoid eating food, so that's why I kept chewing the gum and eating the mints. So here's a solution. If gum triggers hunger for you as it did for me, try to drink herbal tea or flavored water instead. I'm a fan of both. I'm not against flavored water because sometimes people need to have a little flavor in their water, not throughout the whole day, but maybe once or twice a day if that's what you need. I read that sugar-free mints can help, but then again, sucking on that mint might increase your hunger or might trick you into thinking you're hungry. So be careful about that. But yes, please drink more water, drink herbal teas to see if that can, eliminate the feeling of being hungry. And I'll include the research here for you to see so that it's not make-believe. Chewing gum or chewing mints, a lot of them can actually trigger hunger pain. The second surprising reason why you might feel hungry is that you are dehydrated. Dehydration can often be mistaken for hunger. Now, with regards to the science behind that, mild dehydration can cause confusion between thirst and hunger because the hypothalamus regulates both. People may reach for snacks when their body actually needs fluids. This is going to be important for us women as we age because we're having some hormonal fluctuations in perimenopause and the menopause transition, which many of you already know, which can increase our water needs. Now, don't be mistaken. Water is not only necessary for masking hunger pains or not even masking hunger pains, for help regulating our hunger and our hunger eating cycle, but it's also important for us to flush out toxins from our body. So we really need to stay hydrated as much as possible. Some people like to drink 1 liter to 2 liters of water per day. I would say if you can get in 1 liter, that would be awesome. That would be great for you. But know that it's really important not only for flushing out toxins, but for our brain health, to make sure that we're cognizant or we're conscious. We really need to be able to get our kidneys to be flushing out those toxins as well. So we really need to know that it's important to drink water throughout the day. Now, drink water Wait 15 to 20 minutes to see if you're really hungry, and I bet you will not be hungry. You will have to reassess this on a day-to-day basis or on a case-by-case basis. But I would say that try to drink water, and in 15 to 20 minutes, if you're not still hungry, then you know it was just you were dehydrated. Again, I will leave the research here for you just in case you're interested in learning more about it. But I know many of you have experienced this. You thought you were hungry, you drank something, and then you were good to go for a while. So please consider remaining hydrated. And if it's not even water, if you think water will not help you at all, try drinking almond milk. I would advise you to stay away from sweetened juices because that's really not going to do anything for your blood sugar levels. But almond milk, unsweetened or vanilla flavored, soy milk, if that's something you would like to do. There might be some other, flavored water. Please really try the flavored water. I think that's a really good place to start. Now, when I say flavored water, you're sweetening your water with berries, or you're using those. I don't want to advise that you always take into using those packets of low calorie sweeteners, but that might be an option for you to at least get started into trying to figure out how you can quell those false hunger pains. So please remember, stay hydrated. The third reason why you might feel hungry, and this may be a surprise to many of you, maybe not, is you may be experiencing a medical condition that is fueling your hunger. There are two in particular that I want to talk about. The first is diabetes, because poorly controlled blood sugar actually causes rapid swings in glucose that can lead to intense hunger. The second thing is hyperthyroidism. Now, an overactive hyperthyroid speeds up metabolism in your body, making you feel more hungrier than you really are. So those are two of the main medical conditions that can drive hunger. So if you have diabetes or hyperthyroidism, number one, make sure you're working with your healthcare provider to make sure you're on the optimal medication if you are on medication, or if you're working with a dietitian, for example, with the diabetes, to get the correct nutrients under control, or to get the correct nutrients in your diet, so that you can start to regulate and have some control over the fluctuations in your blood sugar. A lot of you wear glucose monitoring systems so that you know how to get ahead of, the dips or the spikes in glucose. So I think that's a good thing for many of you. So again, if hunger is extreme and persistent, see your healthcare provider. Blood tests such as glucose, hemoglobin A1C, as well as thyroid function can help rule out any of these underlying diseases. And if you have these disorders, please make sure you are up to date and you are adherent with your medication or whatever dietary needs that you are currently on. Now, the fourth reason why you might always feel hungry is because you're not getting enough protein and fiber. For example, if you are eating foods that are low in fiber, they are fast digesting carbs like white bread, white rice, white potatoes, for example, you are going to digest that so fast, and then you might feel hungry an hour or 2 hours later, especially if it's not your last meal of the day. You might be feeling more and more hungry, like your food, your appetite wasn't satiated, your hunger wasn't satiated. So it's going to be important for you to not only watch the foods that you eat that contain fiber, so increasing your fiber intake to a minimum 25 grams of fiber per day. Some people get up to 100 grams of fiber per day to make sure they're good to go. But also making sure your protein is adequate. And I mentioned protein being 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of ideal body weight. Those two things, protein and fiber, are going to be really important. And also know that protein stimulates your satiety hormones like GLP-1. GLP-1 is big in the news. It's big everywhere, in your doctor's office, in your nurse's office, in the news, everywhere you go, because of the amount of weight loss people experience after they've been taking a GLP-1. I will probably make a video on that later if you're interested. Another thing I want to mention about adequate fiber and protein intake is that many women of a certain age who are over 40 usually undereat their protein, and this is going to be really important in midlife when muscle mass is already declining. After we turn 30, our muscle mass tends to decrease through research. This is research proven now, about 3 to 8% per decade of life. So we are fighting an uphill battle to get that muscle back on track for us. So it's going to be really important for you to eat enough protein. Now, your protein doesn't have to come from animal sources only. It can come from chicken, beef, turkey, but it can also also come from fish. It can also come from legumes, beans, lentils. They are really good sources of protein, as well as plant-based sources, including, well, beans and legumes, lentils, they're all plant-based. But also think about tofu, tempeh. They are also good sources of protein, so that you can get an idea of different ways to diversify your food. And yeah, please keep in mind how much protein and fiber you're eating. Start tracking it, and then you should be able to know how much you need to consume per day to remain healthy, and to also just make sure that you're getting enough so that you're not feeling hungry. Those folks who eat more protein and more fiber aren't snacking as much during the day, and they are usually good to go even before they sleep, so they're not going to bed hungry. So add protein and fiber to every meal. Don't forget about the Greek yogurts, the leafy greens, the nuts and seeds. These are things that are going to help you along the way. Now, the fifth and last reason why you might feel hungry all the time, and this may not actually be a surprise, is because you're stressed, you're sleep deprived, and you have no energy. So if you're if you're struggling day to day, you might resort to eating as a way of comfort, or as a way to help you, cope with all the things that are going on in your life. So stress levels are going to elevate your cortisol, and I've spoken about this before. Just as a reminder, if you have too much cortisol in your body, it's going to be hard for you to remain healthy and to manage your stress. And this could lead to increased cravings for high caloric food. Sleep deprivation reduces leptin, your satiety hormone, and increases ghrelin, your hunger hormone. And know that in order to have a real balance of your career, your caregiving responsibilities, maintenance, and self-care for yourself, it's going to be important for you to figure out optimal ways to manage stress, to manage the foods that you eat and control what you're eating, so that you're eating healthy, you're eating better, more fruits and vegetables and protein and fiber, all the things that really matter at this stage in your life. Because as you get older, your body depends on these nutrients for fuel. There are things we got away with when we were teenagers or in our 20s that we're not going to get away with anymore. So it's going to be important for us to manage this and make sure we're getting 7 to 9 hours of adequate sleep day in and day out. There are going to be days where we're not going to get that sleep. We're going to be short on sleep, but trying to remain consistent so that you're not struggling too much. So I hope that the information in this video has been very beneficial for you. Let me know in the comments, what do you do to stave off hunger if you're not really hungry? Let me know some tips and tricks that you might have, and share them with some of the viewers. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.